The Striking Scorpions are the Eldari's dedicated infiltrators. They love to get up close and personal during missions, staying completely undetected for as long as possible before unleashing their wrath. Hello and welcome. Today we'll be painting a Striking Scorpion in a retro and not very sneaky bright green and yellow colour scheme, using contrast paints as a base, plus some extra steps to get this warrior well and truly ready for the tabletop. On screen now is the list of paints we'll be using to get this Striking Scorpion painted up. The joy of painting is you can do this however you want, along with a list of tools used today, but feel free to swap out any of these for something that best suits you. If you are new to painting and want to know more about the paint and techniques used, check out our Painting Essentials videos in the description. For our bright base for contrast paints, we've gone ahead and undercoated our miniature in grey Seer. With this done, we're ready to start with the main green colour. With a medium shade brush, add a layer of Mantis Warrior Green straight from the pot and onto the body armour and Scorpion's Claw. Just be as neat as you can around any details we'll be painting later. However, if any mishaps happen, we can tidy them up later with some grey Seer after this next step. And with the warrior's first layer of paint on, let's add some oomph with some Striking Scorpion Green. Using this straight from the pot, apply a layer over all the green that we've just painted. The brightness of this colour is perfect for the look we're after, and layering it over the Mantis Warrior Green has given the armour even deeper shadows. Working in sections across a larger area like this bodysuit will help avoid the paint pooling by soaking up any excess paint with a clean brush before it dries. Once dry, add a second layer over the first. This will help reinforce the colour and cover up any areas that look a little extra patchy. The main armour is now complete. With a quick cleanup, we'll be ready for the next set of contrast paint. With grey Seer, touch up any of the areas where green may have hit. I'm taking my time here to avoid getting any on the armour, making sure we paint the gemstones, raise detailing along the shoulder pads, and chest symbol. If any does get on the armour, we can cover this up by going back over with Striking Scorpion Green. With the cleanup complete, we are now set up with a clean base coat for the next set of contrast paints. The first of which will be Bad Moon Yellow. Controlling how much paint is on our brush is always important when using contrast paints. Too much and we are at risk of getting it everywhere. Twisting the brush on a palette will remove any excess paint and leave a fine point to the tip for maximum control. We'll want to paint this all over the helmet and any fabric straps across the mini. We can also do this to the raised detailing across the shoulder pads and chest symbol for a punchy yellow base coat to sit next to the bright green. In one easy coat, the colour scheme is taking shape. Next, let's add some depth to the yellow by toning it down. Mix 2 parts contrast medium to 1 part Iyanden Yellow on a palette and apply this all over the yellow areas we've just painted. This thinned down mix has a lovely orangey tint that will settle into the recesses and subtly shade the yellow, uplifting the colour and keeping it bright. Before moving on, let's add a speedy cleanup using grey Seer, adding this to any gemstones that may have been covered up whilst painting. The yellow has really come together perfectly, leaving us with a lovely tinted yellow no one will see coming. Next, add some Blood Angel's Red to a palette and twist off any excess for more control. Slowly apply this along both sides of the chainsword for some pretty standout blades, before moving on towards the handle and the tassels. Next, add this to the bag and the fabric that hasn't been painted yet, finishing off with the tassels on the back of the helmet and the tube leading to the gun. With the red down, we have one last step to do, and that's the blue for the eyes and the gemstones. Aethermatic Blue's light colour is a great base for this. Load the brush up from the pot and then apply this to the lenses on the helmet, moving to the gems that are scattered across the body. Up next to deepen the blue is a thinned down mix of 2 parts contrast medium to 1 part Kroxigor Scales. Holding the model on its side, pull the paint towards the back of the eyes. This lets the paint build up, leaving a darker tone to one side. And by holding the miniature upside down, we can paint the gemstones in the same way to achieve the same effect. Dabbing a second layer on top of the gems helps deepen the colour even more. Brilliant! This Striking Scorpion is ready to look inconspicuous on the battlefield. You can stop here, but with a few extra steps, we'll get this warrior looking sharp in no time. First is Moot Green to dry brush the armour with a small dry brush. Brush the paint into the bristles on a paper towel to remove as much excess off as possible, before painting it onto the mini. Once happy, apply the dry brush across the whole model, burning up the colour by going over the armour a few times, being careful not to get any in the areas that aren't green. This subtle step will help smooth out any patchy areas, and with that done, let's push it even further with the highlighting of the yellow. And for that, Phalanx Yellow will do nicely. Add some to a palette and twist the brush for a fine point. For the sword's sharp edges, using just below the tip of the brush to run down any of the edges will get those lines added in quickly, which can also be used on the gun, belt, and fabrics painted yellow. Highlighting is great for cleaning up any minor pooling from the contrast paints, like the areas around the gemstone. Switch to the side of the brush to make it easier to paint the raised symbols on the sword and the chest. The faceplate will need more of a precise touch. Run an edge under the lenses and around the vents. focusing more on the bottom, which is where the light will naturally sit. Lastly, it's time to highlight the Blood Angel's red. Wild Rider Red will be the ideal highlight colour, keeping it as bright as possible. Like before, run the side of the brush down any of the sharp edges, and pick out the details with the tip of the brush, like this symbol on the bag. For the chainsword, run the brush in the same direction as the blades, letting the paint settle just on the top, making it stand out. And voila! This bright, classic striking scorpion scheme is all wrapped up with a Martian iron crust textured base, letting the sneaky green warrior stand out on the red desert landscape. I hope you enjoyed this blast from the past using contrast paints. For more painting videos, head over to our YouTube channel, or for more hands-on help, pop into one of our Warhammer stores where our friendly staff will be happy to help. Thanks for watching, ciao for now, and see you in the next one.